Hey everyone, welcome back to another Friday 15. As you can tell, I'm not Stephanie. She is still recovering from her amazing conference that she went to, which is the Young Leaders in Travel Conference, and that was through Travel Allies. She had a great time and learned a lot. It was all about leadership, and there were 45 participants under 40 there, and it was a great time. And I know her and Mary had fun and learned a lot. So she will be back next week. But until then, you have me. So today we had a question come in. Now, I'm not as professional as Stephanie. I have my notes, so you might see me looking off screen a little bit. But we had a question come in from Anonymous. I have a new website. Now what? It's a great question. And there's a lot that can go into that. That's a loaded question because, I mean, we could talk about SEO and SEM and building a website and optimizing the website and ads for the website and just go on and on. But I'm going to try to stick to some basic things that everybody can do that will help you once you have your website built and before you launch it or even while it's launched, but some things that you can do to optimize your website so you'll show up in those Google searches and people can find you easily. I guess my first comment that I would make is before you launch your website, because it sounds like you just built it and it's ready to go, is always have somebody with fresh eyes look at your website. Somebody, because you've been living and breathing it for the whole time it's been being built. So maybe grab a friend or a family member to kind of go through your website and make sure that they understand the flow of the website, make sure they understand the wording and everything that's happening on your website. Because people that are going to go to your website, obviously it'll be their first time, their first experience there. So you want to make sure that somebody that doesn't know your website as well will be able to get through your website and know how to navigate it easily. It's easy for us when we're constantly in it and knowing how to use it to forget that sometimes other people might not know how. So my first suggestion would always be before launching a website is to grab somebody that you know and love that you can take advice from, because sometimes it's not always the easiest to listen to people critique something that you work so hard on, but it's not a bad thing. It's always a good thing when somebody can help you through that. So that would be my first suggestion. So let's talk about some free ways to optimize your website too. That'll help you kind of easily show up on pages for when people are searching travel advisors or cruises or anything along that line that has to do with the travel industry or your niche. First is SEO, so search engine optimization. What this is it's pretty much not paid ads. So this is taking your website and utilizing your website to be its own advertisement without having to spend a lot of money or any money really. So a couple things you can do is I'm sure you have plenty of photos on your website, which is great. And even if they are stock photos, that's absolutely fine. Not every picture is going to be unique. If you can get unique pictures, maybe from fam trips and stuff like that and put it up, that's perfect. Google loves new, fresh content, but that's okay. If you use stock photos, that's absolutely fine. My suggestion would always be to name your photos. So when you're putting your photos up on your website, you don't want it to be photo number 0123. Google doesn't understand that. So let's say it's a picture of a Marriott hotel, and I'm just throwing that out there. You'd want to name that picture Marriott Hotel in Boston, Mass. And I say Boston, Mass because I'm from Massachusetts. But that way, if somebody's Googling like that they want to stay in Boston and they're looking for a hotel, well, that picture might show up and that might lead them back to your website. So whenever you have pictures on your website, always label the picture of exactly what it is. That way, again, you'll be able to show up in probably that little photo section in Google where you see images and you click and then it shows a bunch of images. You might show up there. It will also help you show up on the actual web pages. Keywords on your website. This is, again, a great reason why you want someone to review your website, but you want to make sure that you're putting everything in there. You want to make sure travel agent, you want to make sure whatever your niche is, that you have those wordings constantly throughout your website. So again, when somebody's Googling your website, those words, Google will see those words on your website and help pull it forward for people to see. Always putting your name in relevant places. That way, again, it's self-promotion, which is a good thing. Self-promotion is not a negative thing. This is really, really good. And you want to be people to understand your brand, your name, your niche, and how you can help them. So always make sure that you're putting some great info up there with specific wording that Google can help find. What else? Oh, blogs. Now, I understand not everybody's a writer, but that is okay. Having blogs up on your website, again, goes back to this SEO and keywords. They don't have to be long. You can put pictures in them. Writing about your experience or your client's experience or fam trips, things that you can put those keywords in easily. Where again, Google is going to read that. They're going to say, oh, this person is talking about this vacation, and here's the client looking for this vacation. Let's put that website in front of them. So again, blogs don't have to be super long. They just have to be informative and have some great keywords, because again, it's going to help Google show your page to relevant clients. Another great tip for your website is getting email addresses. So if you're using WordPress, I mean, there's some great pop-ups that you can put on your website, or Wix, or anywhere. Getting email addresses is super important. And I say this because people are coming to your website for a reason. So now let's continue to remind them why they came to your website. So if the first time they come to your website, if they don't take action, that's okay. But now you have their email address. So you can email them, whether it's a monthly newsletter, maybe a special that's coming up, a cruise, raffle something off, whatever it may be. But that way you can keep them on top of mind. That way they know constantly, oh, I don't want to forget this, or, oh, wow, look at what's going on. I need a vacation, especially after the holidays and all the stuff that's going on. So I think email addresses are going to be super important. With that same question, I'm actually going to go right into social media, because I think social media is another great outlet to help you with your website. So first off, if you have a website, make sure you have your website on your social media. So Facebook, there's an About Us section. Make sure your website's on there. Again, so if somebody falls upon your Facebook, they can get back to your website. If you have, let's say, Instagram, make sure your website or a link is in your bio. So a lot of times you'll see people say, oh, check out my link in bio. That's where you would put it. There is no like real informative section. It's just a bio, and then you would put your website there. Because again, you want to get people back to your website. That's the whole point. Social media is great, but let's get them back to your website so they can start getting in touch with you and booking. When you're posting on social media, it's great. Obviously, post away, post pictures, vacations. Maybe your clients will share some pictures. Again, fam trips, what's happening in the office, upcoming things, wonderful. But always put your website in those posts. If you have a relevant page, contact us, book now, great. If you have any specials going on, if you have a page for your specials, link to that. But that way, again, you're getting people from your social media back to your website and getting that call to action of them booking or contacting you. So whenever you do a social post, always put a website link in there, or maybe even a phone number to try to contact you. Because when you post on, for example, Instagram, you can't there's no clickable link on Instagram. So you'll want to put a phone number, or again, put that link in bio so they know to go there to click on the link and get to your website. And I mean, really, social media humanitizes you and makes it so you're not just an everyday business. Again, you're showing them vacations that you've booked for other people and the fun time that they had, and how hard you're working for them, and showing them kind of the fam trips you're going on and what else is out there to offer. So it's just kind of another way of, instead of just having a website, it's also another way to show them how hard you work and the things that are going on and the places people are going. So humanitizing yourself and your business is really, really important. It also helps you become a leader in the industry and shows all your knowledge. So it's not just a website where people are just going to read through, but it also kind of shows everything that you know about the different locations and your niche and so on. So having kind of those posts where you can boast about everything you know is a good thing. Another great idea is to partner with influencers. Now, yes, I know there's huge influencers out there with millions of followers, and wouldn't we all love to partner with them? Doesn't just have to be that. Could be somebody you meet at a conference. Maybe it's a supplier. Maybe it's just someone that is popular in the industry and might know some more. Or maybe they have blog posts that you can partner with and become kind of a resource for them, and then you can share their blog onto your page, and that way it's showing kind of that partnership. And not only are you being able to show it to your audience, but now you've partnered with them on, let's say, a blog, and now you're on their page in front of their audience with your contact information, trying to get people back. So being able to partner with people and meeting people at conferences and doing different things is always a good thing. So again, when I say influencer, it doesn't have to be somebody that has millions of followers. It could be, again, a supplier, somebody you meet at a conference, somebody you can partner with. I know a lot of times, for example, Har, we're always looking for travel advisors to partner with and get stories from, whether it's for our podcast or our blog or for annual surveys. So, I mean, you can always reach out to us. We're always looking for people to chat with that are, boots on the ground. And again, you're getting in front of a whole new audience. And then, I mean, lastly, with social media, it's a great place to promote anything, whether it's deals, what's going on, promote yourself, promote your business, promote your product, promote your niche. So make sure that when you're on your social media platforms, you're doing a lot of promoting. Self-promoting is absolutely fine, I promise. One thing I do want to quickly touch upon, and this would probably be a great another Friday 15, would be kind of a rebrand and a refresh. So when you're building your website, if it's something that is new, or if you have a website and you're kind of looking to refresh, it might be a good time to kind of refresh your brand. And that could be anything from your logo. If you've had your logo for quite a few years, great. You might want to kind of refresh. I mean, trends are constantly changing. Color palettes. I mean, if you're looking, you always want to make sure that your brand has a color palette, so you can kind of stay within that color palette when you're designing things. But maybe your color palette needs a little refresh. I mean, come on, the colors from the 60s are very different from the colors from the 2000s, and what's eye-catching now. In your messaging, always take a look yearly at how you're promoting yourself, what messages you're putting out there, what's important to you. Make sure your messaging is cohesive and constantly on trend with your brand. So that might be something you want to refresh as your messaging, whether it's your brochure, your website, your social media. I would definitely take a yearly look at all that stuff and make sure that your messaging is exactly how you want it to be. And probably lastly, and again, I could go on forever about rebrands and refreshes, but your niche. So maybe when you started in the industry, your niche was really about cruises, but now you've kind of gone a little bit more towards disability and people with disabilities and booking them cruises and vacations. So you want to make sure that your niche is intact with your messaging, with your brand, with your logo, and that you're really putting out there the things that you offer and that you're professional at. So that way, again, when people are on the internet and they're looking up something, and if it falls within your niche, you're showing up in front of them. So that's all really important. Again, I mean, these are all topics that there's so much more we could talk about, but I know. But thank everyone for being here. That was our Friday 15. Steph will be back next week, and hopefully I will be back again to talk a little bit more about this topic. But thank you again, everyone. Happy Friday. Enjoy your weekend. GIF.